Well, welcome to this Sports Showcase event on Harford TV. I'm Don Morrison. My great pleasure to be at Havre Grace High School. It's the Havre Grace Warriors homecoming night and senior night. And who else but Aberdeen High School would be the team that they could welcome tonight? Aberdeen, Havre Grace, if you're from the county, you know it is always a treat when these two teams get together, no matter what the sport. Bob McCone, my partner, this is going to be a whale of a game between two teams that need a win desperately, and it's for bragging rights for the rest of the year.
It's two teams that have competed against each other for years, like 8 miles apart. Relations, cousins living in both towns, and the bragging rights are exactly what they are. And being a part of it when I was coaching basketball at Aberdeen and my children were going to Havre Grace, you just loved it. It's just absolutely fantastic rivalry and two really, really nice schools.
Yeah, and could it get much better? You got two teams that are really good this year. Aberdeen has been down in the doldrums for the last decade. Now under their new coach, they are doing very well. Caleb Myers has brought this team back from being kind of almost, I don't want to say a laughing stock, but a team that really wasn't considered to be one of the great teams. Last year they're 3-7. This year they've already got 3 wins, 3-2. They could be 4-1. Lost a game very close, and they have a chance now to continue winning. Tonight would be the key test. If they can get by this win tonight, they will have won their 4th game. And Bob, they haven't won 4 games in a season since 2017.
That's just really hard for me to believe because, the 20-something years I was at Aberdeen as a teacher, they just produced, player after player, team after team, and competitive team after competitive team. And it's just hard for me to believe that the athletes aren't there and they can't compete.
Well, they're competing this year. Havre Grace beat Aberdeen last year 24-20, but they won in the last minute. Aberdeen was leading 2018, and Edgewood scored a touchdown in the last few seconds to win. So, maybe a chip on the shoulder, maybe a revenge motivating Aberdeen. And Bob, I want to ask you the question. As a coach, senior night, big night for seniors, obviously, and homecoming, a big night for Havre Grace. Is it a distraction for the Warrior players, or is it a benefit for them?
That's really hard to say. It really depends on the players that you have and what their focus is. I mean, you guys can go out and they can celebrate and, hug their parents and everything prior to the game, but once their parents walk off and they walk over to their teammates and they get together for that cheer to get them going out onto the field, the next hour and a half to 2 hours, all you're doing is focusing on what you're doing and playing.
Bob, here they come. Here come the Warriors now, and again, they are, breaking the barrier to get in on the homecoming. That is, of course, the big night for the Warriors. And you can see carrying the big flag is one of the biggest men on the field. So the Warriors dressed in their all maroon uniforms with the gold trim. Aberdeen in their white with the gold trim as well in the blue. So we're just about ready for the start of this game. Aberdeen led by their quarterback Colin Rogers of dual threat, 710 yards passing, 593 yards rushing, a 9.0 per carry average, 6 passing TDs, 10 rushing TDs. Aberdeen without its great running back Anthony Hall. Bob, 2 games ago, he was injured in the Edgewood game, broke his clavicle. He's out until at least week 9. You lose a player who is one of your leading players. And now let's pause a moment, and we will honor our country with our national anthem. is Mr. Dave Trey Montana and his chorus singing the national anthem, always doing a great job. Bob, I know you're familiar with Havre de Grace. Your kids went here. You know the music program at Havre de Grace has always been
fantastic.
Top-notch. Rick Hoff, the former band director, now turning it over to the new man Joshua Dill, who's also doing a wonderful job.
One of the things I want to say about Havre de Grace, which I loved about Havre de Grace, I always thought it was the best kept secret in Harford County. They did a great job. The teachers there always did a great job of teaching the kids and upping their abilities. And you know, my 3 kids would not have been what they are today except for the faculty at Havre de Grace High School. So the only thing I really liked doing was when I was coaching at Aberdeen, I loved beating them. You know, on the other hand, if I lost to them, I had to listen to my kids, so I really didn't want to lose to them. But Havre de Grace, their football program has always really been a very, very good football program.
Yeah.
And so the kids in Havre de Grace are just good, tough football players, and you know, always really liked watching Havre de Grace play football. So I'm really excited tonight.
Yeah, Brian Eberhardt, their 14-year head coach, also coaches the basketball team, does Brian. Perryville/West Nottingham graduate, local guy. And his son, Jack, is the offensive coordinator under his dad for the last 3 years. Done a great job, has for all these many years. Bob, you look at what they've done over the years, Havre de Grace, they have won the region championships in 15, 16, 17, 18, and 23. Been to the state finals twice, state semifinals also 3 times. So they're a team and a program that's used to winning.
Absolutely. Let's step back for a second, Don. You talked about Aberdeen missing their big running back. The young man, Cam Durbin, who's filling in for him, has been doing a really fantastic job. You know, tell me a little bit about him, his statistics, and
yeah, Cam is averaging 7.5 points or 7.5 yards a carry. He's got 8 TDs, 71 yards his longest run. So Cam Durbin, the senior, by no means, you know, isn't a big drop off, but obviously you'd love to have a full complement if you could.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, sometimes as a player, you just happen to be behind a great player. And you can be a very, very good player on your own right, which I think Cam Durbin really is. And, you know, so now he's getting the opportunity and he's showing it.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about Havre de Grace a moment. Julian Ringgold, their quarterback, 70 for 121 for 971 yards and 8 TD passes. Their running back is Kamari McGritt. The Warrior Rushers, just 91 yards. Now, one thing, Bob, you're going to see tonight with Aberdeen, they are an up-tempo team. If you think you're going to get a little rest between plays, forget it. You know, they're going to hike the ball, they're going to get back to the line of scrimmage, and they're going to go. Going to be lots of fun here at Havre de Grace. The Warriors will be receiving. No, they'll be kicking off to start. Aberdeen going from left to right across your TV screen. Havre de Grace in those maroon uniforms, the home team getting ready to kick off. We're all set to go. It should be exciting tonight here at River City in James R. Harris Field.
Well, we're going to see 2 really good quarterbacks tonight, Don. One on each team, and these kids can get it done. The Aberdeen quarterback runs a bit more than the Havre de Grace quarterback, but the Havre de Grace quarterback throws the ball a bit more, and they're both very successful at what they do.
Here's there we go. It's a line drive kickoff coming down at the 10, and it will go, let's see, did it go out of bounds?
Out of bounds at the 1 or 2, yeah.
No, and that penalty will go down because it does go out of bounds. That should bring it out to the 40-yard line. Obviously not something you want to do if you're Havre de Grace, to give Aberdeen that good field position.
Yeah.
So we'll give you that Aberdeen starting lineup here from tackle to tackle. Aiden Bush, number 80, is the tight end. Elijah Wynn, number 75, is the left tackle. Jacob Smeltzer is the center. Sean Green, the second, is the right guard. Lennox Morris is the right tackle. Grayson Taylor also on the line. Jamin Oraki is the split end. DeMar Darby is the flanker. Devin Murphy, also a flanker, and Devontae Williams, the young man you're going to keep your eye on. 8 catches for 194 yards. Number 4, watch him all night. Here's Rogers now in the shotgun formation. Hands off up the middle. He's going to be hit and held by a host of those maroon shirted. Looks like what, number 57, perhaps? Let's see, I picked out 50. Let's see, maybe 53. Yeah, Bryson Worthy, a two-way tackle. 24 tackles coming in. That's going to be a loss on first down. Loss of about 1 back to the 33-yard line as the ball started at the 35.
Havre race looks like they're in a 4-4 or 4-3.
Aberdeen started from the 35. Now the quarterback draw, keeping the ball. That's Rogers. We're going to see that a lot. Again, we talked about his rushing. 66 carries, 593 yards. Gets back about to the line of scrimmage. It'll be third down, big third down and 10.
One of the things that you find out Havre Grace on defense, they've always been very, very quick. And, you know, you got to use misdirection on them and some other. You run straight at them or you try to go wide, and they're going to run you down.
Empty backfield. Rogers waiting. In motion, Durbin. Fake handoff, pass to Durbin. He's got it at the 35. Hit and held right at the line of scrimmage. That'll bring up a fourth down. Fourth down and 10.
Well, I was a little worried about that pass. I thought the cornerback might have cut in front of that and stole that pass. But
boy, if you're Havre Grace, what a way to start, huh? Stop them for.
You give them the ball, stop them fourth down. They have to punt.
Now, I mean, would you think Caleb Myers would say no? We're going to go for it. Right now, it looks like he's got his offensive unit in there. Bobby can't believe it. Fourth down and 10 from the 35, but it looks like, unless they're going to try to draw him offside. In motion, Durbin. Yeah, they're going to snap the ball. Looking downfield, has a man. It's going to be intercepted, taken away at the 40-yard line by Havre Grace. That's Mike Shelley. Shelley intercepts the ball and brings it back inside the 35 to about the 32. Wow.
Wow.
That is,
you know, I give him credit for wanting to be aggressive, but that's awfully, awfully tough to make that.
We're going to see the replay here. Our monitor is not working at the moment, but you're getting to see the replay. Shelley just steps in front and makes the interception, and Havre Grace now has the ball. First down and 10 on the Aberdeen 32. Julian Ringgold, number 12, the quarterback. Behind him, Kamari McGritt, number 7.
Yeah.
Hand off to McGritt off the right side. Going to get a couple of yards, in fact, 4 or 5 yards.
7.
Yeah, down to about the 25-yard line.
You know, the high school offense over the last 20 years the game has really changed. You know, it used to be more of a power game. Now it's more of a pro game with the splits and the ball snap back to the quarterback, and Julian Ringgold does this as well as anybody. So
Julian Ringgold, the third-year starter at Havre Grace, a senior, number 12. Shifting is Havre Grace. Kevin Miller, number 4, going to the far side. His brother, Miles Miller, in motion. Handoff to McGritt around the left side. He's got the first down and much more. Cuts it back inside, down inside the 10. Still going down to the 3 and pushing it, and maybe finally will be held. No, is he still going? That looked like the tush push.
yeah, they
They're
push.
saying a touchdown. McGritt on the touchdown from the 22-yard line. It is a 22-yard touchdown run.
It was quite a run.
I thought he would stop.
Yeah, well, he kept moving those legs, and then his lineman came in and they started pushing the pile. You know, except it wasn't the tush push. It was just picking it up and just shoving them.
You'll see the replay here. Now, right now, we're going to have the extra point.
Yeah.
So it is 6-0 as Havre Grace scores just 8:36 into the game.
Well, we're sitting next to some of the Havre Grace assistant coaches up here, up in the booth. So, you know, it'll get loud over there.
And the kick is up, and it's good. So it is 7-0, just like that. The Warriors take the 7-0 lead. And there, Bob, you see some of the crowd. Is that Batman? Has Batman attracted?
Have 2 of them?
There's, yeah, look. It is homecoming.
Ninja behind him? I don't know. A senior over there?
I'm loving it. It is senior night here at Havre Grace, and they are happy. There they are.
Yeah.
Wow. And what a beginning for Havre de Grace. They kicked off, they held Aberdeen 3 downs. You thought Aberdeen would punt, but no, they went for it. Through the interception, took Havre de Grace all of 2 plays. McGritt going in for the touchdown.
Well, here's what we're going to see now, Don. The question is now, does Aberdeen settle down, overcome this, and start to move the football and take some time off the clock and take the ball down and tie this football game up? Because they don't want another 3 and out.
You saw the coaching staff, Collins Banjo, number 58, being talked to by the coaching staff. And again, the idea is, just it's early. We got a lot of time to go. Kicking off now is Havre de Grace. Taken at the 10-yard line. Headed to the far side. Looking for room and does have room. Finally knocked out of bounds. That's Gavin Harris, number 3, who carries the ball out past the 40-yard line to about the 42. So Aberdeen, its second possession. Good field position first time, even better this time at the 42.
Well, it looks like it's at about the 36, Don.
Yep, you're right. The 37 maybe as they put it in play.
Yeah, somewhere in that area.
Good field position for Aberdeen. Colin Rogers, the senior quarterback. He's thrown 2 interceptions coming in. Now he has 3. See what he can do here. In motion is Devontae Williams. Handoff inside.
What?
That's again to Durbin. Durbin picks up maybe 1 or 2.
Havre de Grace defensive line is doing a great job of pinching down and shutting off those inside holes.
Absolutely. Kyle Petts, Bryson Worthy, Maurice Foxworth, Palmer Spence, doing a great job on that defensive line. There you see Brian Eberhardt, the Havre de Grace coach. He's going to be happy right now. Oh, did Havre de Grace jump? They did.
Yeah.
Going to cost them 5.
Little inflection in that voice, I'm sure.
The old hard count. Offside is the call.
Take advantage of them, mess with their head.
Brian Watson, the referee. Theo Thomas, the umpire. Linesman is Jeff Graybeal. Line judge is Gerald Wicks. And the back judge is Brian Norman. That's the officiating crew tonight.
All right, let's hear it for the officiating crew.
That came from Bob McCone.
I thank them for their service.
2nd down and 5. Here's the back to throw. Completed to the far side. It's going to be a 1st down and more. Good job competing to Cam Durbin.
Yeah.
Up across
that was a nice, well-designed play. Had the blockers out in front for him.
And you see now, Bob, this hurry-up offense. They don't go back in the huddle.
I like this.
Yep.
The defense doesn't have time to rest now. They got to line up and get ready to play. You can't make too many substitutes.
Colin Rogers calling signals. Hands it off to Durbin. Durbin is hit at the line of scrimmage.
See,
right at the midfield stripe.
Yeah, the linemen are stunting inside, into the inside gaps, and they're doing a really nice job of shutting that off.
Mike Shelley, the linebacker, coming up and making that tackle. He's the young man that had the interception.
Yeah, not a bad day so far, huh?
I would say. Back to throw, looking downfield, has his man. Short completion is complete. The ball to Jermaine Rocky.
Yeah.
That's going to pick up maybe 3. Ball is going to be down inside right at the 45. They've got to get down to the 40 for their 1st down.
Yeah. Right in front of us on the near side of the field here.
Again, trying that inflection technique to get the lineman to jump. Doesn't work this time. Plenty of time. Durbin resets. Rogers waiting for the snap. Keeps it. He's going to be hit and held. Wow! That defensive line, number 8, that's Maurice Foxworth, who makes the tackle.
He's the smallest. He's the smallest guy. Oh, it looks like he's the smallest guy on the field, playing up a defensive end, and he's so quick. He just gets around the tackle and makes the tackle. Nice play.
If they went for it on 4th down at the 32, is there any doubt they're going for it now? Durbin in motion, being rushed, gets it off. It's complete. Got the 1st down and more. Down inside the 30-yard line, near the 20.
Was a nice screen pass right there, an inside 0 screen.
Gutsy call.
Yeah.
Reception made by Devin Murphy. Gets it all the way down to about the 21-yard line. Drive started back at the 42 of Aberdeen. Big fourth down pickup. Keeping the ball. That's Rogers around the left side. Cuts it back inside. Got an opening down inside the 10 to about the 5. First down.
Well, that was a nice inside run right there. And
Yeah.
the one thing who made that play was his receivers really blocked for him.
Oh yeah, getting a receiver to block, Bob, that's that takes some time.
That's an Aberdeen tradition, Don.
Oh, there we go. Timeout on the field. 5 minutes, 21 seconds left in the first period. That 7-0 lead by the Warriors. They got an interception, 2-play touchdown run, leading 7-0. And Bob, if we were worried about how Aberdeen would react, I think we've just seen it.
Well, I was going to be quiet on that until I saw them punch it into the end zone, because that's the bottom line in order, to really finish the challenge back in the reaction. They've got to get the 6.
There you see the split screen. Brian Eberhardt on the right. Caleb Myers on the left. Caleb is a corrections officer, Bob, during the day.
Well, I wouldn't know him then.
No, I wouldn't either, but I talked to him before the game, I said, I bet that's fun. He said, well, it depends on your definition of fun.
Yeah.
So he has done a great job. He's coached at both Joppatown and Edgewood as an assistant, came here as the head coach last year, and has really developed the program for the Aberdeen Eagles. Well, here we go now. First and goal. 7-play drive started back at the 42. Bob, you're so right. Unless they can punch it in. There's the give. Durbin Falls, the old turf monsters seem to jump up and grab it.
Yeah, well, what they did was they actually brought 6 people. They ran 6 people into the field, and the end came in uncontested, and Durbin just went to the ground.
Yeah, so now that's a second down and goal.
Yep.
Loss of maybe 1. Ball back at the 6. Handoff again to Durbin. He cuts it inside. He's going to get a couple. Oh, that sticky line of Havre.
Havre's defensive line is playing very well. And
Kyle Petts, the sophomore, number 56.
and that time Aberdeen moved them a little bit, not a lot, just for a few, for about 4.
9-play drive. Now it's down at the 3-yard line.
3 or 4. It's
goal to go. You got to get it. You can't get a first down. Keeping it. Rogers cuts it back inside. Almost falls. Goes into the end zone.
Oh, what a nice
Rogers. Boy, he kept that hand. Put the hand down, Bob. Avoided the knee from going down. Guts the touchdown.
I love the cutback he made. That was impressive.
Well, 4:15 now. Aberdeen within a point of equalizing the score as Rogers runs it in from 4 yards out.
I haven't seen that. Oh, okay, they're going to kick the extra point here. All right.
Aberdeen to attempt the extra point. It looks like Landon Rivera.
Oh, that was offside.
Now, did they jump or were they drawn?
They jumped. No,
Now, if that takes you down to the 1.5, do you now think about a 2?
Oh, absolutely.
Don't see a flag down yet. Did they?
Neither do I. I don't see anything down. No, I don't see anything down.
No, they're just going to say do-over.
Do-over. That's an interesting concept.
So it looks like Aberdeen will attempt the extra point. Landon Rivera, senior kicker. The kick is kind of squibbed off to the right and is no good. So the kick fails. The score remains now. Havre Grace ahead at 7-6.
Well, you know what that means is next time, if you score the next time, you got to go for 2.
10-play drive started at the 42-yard line. 4 minutes and 15 seconds left in the first period. We are almost even at 7-6. Aberdeen has answered back from that devastating interception and touchdown run. I still can't get over the run. Bob, he was tackled. I'm talking now about Kamara McGritt for Havre Grace. He was tackled at the 10-yard line.
You know what I like about this, Don? Aberdeen was out on the field ready to kick off before everybody walked off the field.
Wow.
I mean, you talk about up-tempoing a game.
There you go. We're ready. Well, here comes the kickoff now. Havre de Grace back to return. A little bit of a squib kick. It was touched by Aberdeen. I think they touched it before it got 10 yards anyhow.
No, it was, they touched it right on the other side of the, I think it was on the other side of the 50.
Yeah, I don't know, but it had a good chance to recover it, but instead Havre de Grace gets the ball.
Yep.
Don't know if that was an onside kick or just a squib.
I don't know. We'd have to ask. I think he might have been an onside kick because he was just trying to.
They're going to give Havre de Grace the ball where it was touched by Aberdeen. So Aberdeen must have
48,
touched it.
yeah.
He must have touched it before it got to the 10 yards.
That's illegal, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is the call.
So that's where they get the ball.
In great field position, they'll take over at the 48-yard line of Aberdeen. Handoff, that's McGritt.
Coach Myers is being very, very aggressive here in this football game. You know, he's going for fourth down every time. He's kind of pooch kicked the kickoff to see if he could steal one. He must have a lot of faith in his defense.
There's Brian Eberhard looking on. Brian has a great staff. We'll talk about some of that staff that Brian Eberhard has. Been here 14 years coaching both basketball and football. Not a teacher. He's got his own environmental consulting firm.
Nice.
Handoff to McGritt. Hit, knocked down, slips.
He was hit by number 58 on his team.
Yeah, the pulling guard. Down he went, so he's losing about 4 yards back inside the 50, back to the 48. Yeah. Auburn, I'm going to see if I can say his last name right. Cafando, number 58, the sophomore, pulling. That's going to be now third down. Big third down coming, Bob. We had a great field position. You would hate to see it wasted.
Yeah.
Are you in four down territory, do you think?
We'll find out. You know, I know what the other coach thinks.
Ringgold now back under center. No, he is back in shotgun formation. Has a man going to overthrow him, incomplete. So that'll bring up a fourth down. That ball wasn't close to being completed.
It kind of surprised me because he was open. The receiver was open, and the ball kind of went over his head. Yeah, it's 4th and 12. I think they're going to punt.
They are going to punt the ball away. Yeah. So different philosophies. Havre de Grace has the ball right at midfield. They're going to punt it away.
Well, after a team just drives down the field on you, you know, I'm not sure you really want to give them only half the field to go.
Zakari Yim to punt the ball away. Boy, Aberdeen didn't think you were going to punt it. They didn't have anybody back there.
That's a great punt.
The ball rolled down at about the 13-yard line.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's no yellow hankies on the field. So.
Yeah. Boy, Aberdeen had no idea. They thought, hey, this is a fake.
Yeah.
So they let the ball hit, and it rolled a good roll for Havre de Grace. So the Eagles will put the ball in play, but deep in their own territory.
You think the Aberdeen defensive coach was thinking like his offensive coach, thinking, yeah, my offensive coach will go for this on 4th.
He doesn't punt from his own 32. They're not going to punt from midfield. Well, here we go. Let's see what Aberdeen can do now. They'll put the ball in play.
Now it's a football game, Don. It's 7-6, and each team has had some success.
Quarterback Rogers has 2 running backs, left and right. Durbin and Dixon.
We got motion now. And
inside handoff.
Yeah.
Well, they moved some people that time, Bob.
Yeah. A few yards, 3 yards.
Aberdeen taking over at the 13. They get it out to about just short of the 20, maybe the 19. Second down, about 6. Same formation. In motion.
Now they send the opposite guy in motion, and they run the same play the opposite way.
Boy, Havre de Grace, their defense, that defensive line, just very stout.
Yeah, they just stop everything that they run inside.
Third down, maybe 1. It's going to be a long 5.
Yeah.
Waiting for the takeaway. Clock moving at 1:17 left in the first. Inside handoff. That's going to be close to the first down.
I think that's a first down.
Yeah, you had to get to the 25.
Yeah, it says you got to the 26.
Boy, Bob, that's a gutsy call. That sort of inside, if you will.
Well, that's the first time they moved that defensive line off the football.
Yeah, on a third down.
Yeah.
First down and 10, the ball at the 25. Rogers calling signals. Handoff coming this way.
Here comes a sweep.
That's Durbin.
He's got 5. He's got 10.
Close
to 10, yeah.
Up to about the 35 almost.
Yeah.
4-play drive started back at the 13, using the clock.
I think that's a first down.
It is a first down. Right back on the ball. What does that do to a defense when you don't even give them a chance to breathe?
Well, it's wearing them down little by little. And now they're getting knocked backwards, which in the beginning of the game, early in the first quarter.
It's Durbin again. Dives across the 40.
That's a 4-yard gain. So
yeah. Cam Durbin, a senior, 654 yards, 7.5 yards per carry, 8 touchdowns, 71 yards his longest run, averaging 130 yards per game for the 3-2 Aberdeen Eagles. Both teams 3-2 coming in. Let's see what the call is on the field. Yeah, it's the end of the first period.
That'll do it.
Yeah. A quick moving first period. The 7-6 lead by Havre scored after an interception on a 2-play drive, and then Aberdeen took over and went right down the field to score on a Rogers 4-yard run. The point after missed, and so that's where we are at 7-6. Bob, what do you think so far?
Well, I think it's been a very good first quarter. I mean, both teams have shown they can compete. It started out, it looked like Havre was was going to dominate a bit, and then Aberdeen fought its way back, got themselves together, and punched a touchdown in. And now Aberdeen, stopped Havre and now they're moving the football again. So now Havre is, they need this rest right here, and maybe they could come out a little fresher and put the pressure back on Aberdeen again.
Brian Eberhard, you see on the right. Caleb Myers on the left, the Aberdeen coach and the Havre coach. Eberhard went to Perryville, played for Charlie Gibbons.
Charlie.
Oh, yeah. And then he went to West Nottingham and played for Jim Spiro.
Okay.
Yep, that's 2 legendary coaches. If you've been around athletics for a while and you know Cecil County.
A long while.
The names Gibbons and Spiro. Hey, Gibbons is still coaching. He's coaching in Elkton.
Is that right?
Oh, my goodness. Yeah.
Oh, my God. Is he using a cane? Charlie's been around for years.
Yeah, Charlie was coaching in Perryville back in the 1980s. Coming now from right to left, Aberdeen on a short little swing pass. Still on his feet, down at about the 44-yard line. Third and a long 4. Well, this Aberdeen team, Bob, is just relentless.
Well, they're going to come after you right away. They're not taking too much time to do anything.
Colin Rogers, the quarterback. Back to throw without a fake. Looking, has his man complete. First down across the 50-yard line.
Nice call.
Devontae Williams. Devontae with 8 catches for 194 yards.
Tackle.
Shelley with the tackle, but not until the first down.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's just a little out pattern and just enough to get by the first down.
There you see
they
the
threw
replay.
it, they caught it, and
good play by Shelley to come and make the tackle.
Yeah, he had some help there too.
He did. First down and 10, the ball at the 47-yard line of Havre. Durbin coming this way, has a block, gets a first down.
You know what?
Quick.
You know what set that up?
No.
Is the quarterback, when he handed the ball, all of a sudden he took off running in the middle like he was going, and the kid who was supposed to seal the outside took a step toward the quarterback and then realized, and the back got around him,
and he ran Bob to the short side of the field.
Yeah.
Here we go, first down and 10. The ball now at the 37 of Havre. Running now with the ball is Rogers, right up the gut. Picks up maybe 5 yards.
Yep.
Bob, you said it, beginning of the game. I mean, that Havre de Grace line was not being moved at all. Now they're gashing big holes.
Well, I don't know how many substitutes they could, because you can't make a substitute on the fly, so they have to stay out there. I don't know whether he changed some personnel to give them, you know, a rest, or hope that the quarter gave them enough of a rest, but.
Talking to Coach Myers, that's exactly his philosophy. Keep the defense on the field. Don't let them rest. Don't let them make subs. That's Durbin. Right up the gut. Durbin picks up 10, 12 yards down inside the 20.
Yeah, that was just a pure run, and they opened a hole up for him.
10-play drive started way back at the Aberdeen 13-yard line. They're now inside the 20. Rogers gives to Durbin. Shelley with the tackle, gain of maybe 2 or 3. Bob, to run this kind of offense, you've got to be in good shape, though.
Oh, you do, yes.
Yeah. There you see Rogers, the senior quarterback. Looking, throwing, has his man, going to be complete. Short gain, fumble. Did Aberdeen fall on it?
It looked like it, both two Aberdeen players on top of it.
Yeah.
No gain on the play. We have 3rd down and long for the Eagles.
Pass was complete, but then the fumble occurred. Pass was to Anthony. No, check it out.
When you run this kind of offense, you know, your big guys up front have to be in shape because they're the ones packing the weight.
3rd down and 8. Got to get down inside the 10. Rogers, does he have the wheels to get outside? Not quite.
It's tough against a team like Havre de Grace, who really has excellent speed to shut that stuff off.
Yeah, it almost looked like a broken play. It looked like he delayed for a moment and then took off around the right
side. I think
side.
he wanted to run inside, but a Havre de Grace defender came in, and then he jumped outside, and then it's a foot race. And
4th down and 5. To give, Durbin slips. He's going to come up short. Havre de Grace will hold inside the 15 at the 14.
I'm surprised about that play. I mean, he had success with the out over here for the 1st down. I thought we might throw, you know, another out.
Give credit to Shelley again. This young man who starred, Mike Shelley, making the tackle. And so the big drive that started on the Aberdeen 13-yard line got down inside the 15-yard line where it stalls, and Havre de Grace will take over. Used a lot of time, Bob, but they're still down by a point. So now let's see what Havre de Grace can do. Give that defense a chance to rest a bit. Handoff, cuts back, short gain.
Well,
Kamari McGirt is the runner. 2nd down is about 6 to go.
Fortunately, I only see one offensive lineman out there who plays on the defensive line, so they have substituted there, and so some of these defenders up front can get a rest.
Brett Semple, Daniel Nieves, Caleb Harris, Bryson Worthy, and Alburn Cafando. That's the starting offensive line for Havre de Grace. Runner in motion, handoff. That's McGritt going the other way. Good run. McGritt is going to be close to the 1st down, and he does have the 1st down, Bob, across the 25.
Yep.
Boy, impressed with McGritt. This young man just will not go down. Timeout on the field. Looks like there's an injured player on the field. Bob, and we always say what a great blessing it is to have medical technicians on the site here. If somebody goes down, he's hurt, you know, right away he gets expert medical attention.
It's the only way it always should have been, but you know, it took a long time for this to happen, and it's so great for the young people.
Give us a moment to give credit to Heather Crawford, the excellent athletic director here at Havre de Grace. Brad Spence, the principal, who came here about 4 years ago, Happy to say the young man up on his feet and off the field without any apparent serious injury.
And speaking of the athletic directors, you know, we better call out the Mr. Lindy over there at Aberdeen, who does such a fantastic job at that high school.
I'll tell you how old Tim Lindekamp is. He played for me on my baseball team at Aberdeen back in the 1970s.
He is old.
He is old. But of course, I was old then when I was coaching, so it's not very good for me.
It must be tough being old, Don. Tell me about it.
No, it isn't. It's a blessing. Yeah, they don't expect much, Bob, when you're old. They say, you know, they shake their head and say, he's old. Uh-oh, hit in the backfield.
There's no room on that one.
Looked like there might have been a little mix-up there.
There was. The quarterback held the ball a little bit long, and or the back didn't take it, one or the other, right?
Going to be a loss in any case, a loss of maybe, looks like about 2. It's going to be second down and about 12. Got to get out to the 37-yard line for a first down, does Havre Grace.
What we have is a failure of communication on that part, really.
Yeah, I heard that in a movie once, I think.
Yeah.
7-6 as you see our score. Havre Grace scored first. Aberdeen came back, got the tying touchdown, but missed the extra point, and that's the difference right now. Julian Ringgold hands it off to McGritt. He is not going anywhere.
See, as good as Havre Grace is with their quickness on defense, Aberdeen has the same kind of quickness. So when you try to run wide on them, it's the same thing. It's tough to get around them because they fill those gaps quickly.
Looked like Aaron Dixon, number 9, in on that tackle. Aaron with 32 tackles on the year. 2 tackles for loss. Going to be a loss of maybe 1.
No, face mask on.
Oh my. Boy, how big is that call? So instead of being a loss of 2 or 3, it's going to be a 15-yard penalty, bringing up a first down for Havre Grace. Bob, that's the first flag we've seen all night.
And I mean, it takes them mid 40-yard line now.
Yeah, and that was going to be a third down in about, what, 15 maybe?
Yeah.
Now it's 1st and 10 at the 40. In motion.
Where is his help?
There's the throw, complete. Going to go out of bounds at about the 47-yard line.
I think Aberdeen got lucky on that play because Havre Grace had 3 receivers over there, and the third back for Aberdeen was like 10, 12 yards inside, and he fortunately had enough speed to get up and make the play, but not until they had a 7-yard gain out of it.
And that's Miles Miller, the top receiver for Havre Grace. 16 catches, 296 yards on the season, 1 touchdown. His brother, Kevin Miller, also on the team, Bob, a junior. Must be fun playing brothers on the same team.
Yeah, it's more fun than beating each other up all the time. You know?
Looking to throw, has a man, going to be complete, going to be a first down.
Yeah.
Good play. That completion goes to number 5. See who that is on our...
Julian threw that ball well. I mean, he just laid it out there for his back to run under, or his receiver. Yeah, number 3.
Oh, it's number 3. Yeah, okay. I was looking at number 5. I don't have a number 5.
Miles Miller. Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of the Miller family,
Miles, the senior, Kevin, the junior. So now ball right at midfield. There you see the Miles Miller, whom we spoke about a moment ago. Turn, give. McGritt looking for a hole. Boy, a nice patient run, Bob.
he does have patience. He reads the block and makes his cut on time.
This drive started way back at the 13, benefited from that big face mask penalty, converted a 3rd and 15 into a 1st and 10.
You know, we don't get a lot of possessions in this game because each team moves the football.
We've had 1 punt.
Yeah.
And 1 turnover on that interception. In motion. Here's the handoff inside. Good quick hitter, close to the first down.
Wow.
About the 41. Tackled by Murphy. Devin Murphy, the sophomore. Two-way player, 18 tackles, 1 tackle for loss. 3rd down and 1. The 7-play drive, as we said, started back on the 13. Havre Grace eating up the clock. Coming up on the 4-minute mark, left in the half.
Ooh, there was a pancake block.
Trying to cut back is McGritt. McGritt's had a little trouble keeping on his feet tonight, Bob. I don't know if that field is slick at all. We haven't had any rain.
Who is that?
The block?
Yeah, I'm trying to find who. Him.
Palmer Spence.
Yeah, he pancaked an Aberdeen kid. Hit him, just drove him to right straight to the ground.
Jeff Saturday would love that on ESPN. Timeout on the field.
He must be the tight end for.
He is, yeah. Palmer Spence.
Junior. I'll save the embarrassment of.
Yes, he is.
Dave Trey Montana just confirmed that Palmer Spence is indeed the son of the principal, Brad Spence.
All right. Does the principal teach him to be that physical and beat up on people?
I'm not sure, but yeah, Brad Spence, one of the, just great guys. If you know Brad, you like him, because he's just so enthusiastic about what he does. Here you see Brian Eberhardt talking to his team. And Caleb Myers talking to his team, the Aberdeen coach talking to the white-shirted Eagles. And there you see Mr. Eberhardt. He went to school with my older son. Actually, they were competitors. He was at West Nottingham when Darren was a senior at Northeast. So we rooted against him quite vociferously. Is that a good word?
It fits.
There you see some of the fans.
You could have said obnoxiously. It would have fit also, but
Yeah, here we go now. 4th down. Here's a long pass. Let's see, it's going to be out of bounds.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure on that 4th down. They were going for the downs that time.
Boy, Aberdeen had pressure with these two.
Banjo and Gross. Good defense by Gavin Harris. But I'm not sure. Yeah, we talk about Havre Grace being more conservative, but it's a 4th down and 2, and you go for a touchdown. Hey, good if it works.
Yeah.
So Aberdeen will take over on downs close to midfield, just their own 42-yard line.
3:14 left in the half here.
Yeah.
So they're going to have to move the ball. They're not going to be able to run the ball down the field, I don't think, on this.
So it's Aberdeen ball. A chance now to take the lead. Bob, you're right. We've seen a lot of fireworks, just not much scoring. Two teams stopping each other on drives. Give around that right side. That's Cam Durbin. Durbin running up to midfield.
Yeah.
3 minutes left in the half.
I guess it really doesn't matter with Aberdeen because they get to the line of scrimmage so fast after the play that right now it's about 20 seconds since they started the play before that. So
yeah. Rogers up the middle.
That's a 1st down.
First down for Aberdeen.
Now that'll stop the clock until they move the chains.
Yep, 2:44. It's difference in the high school rules. They do stop the clock while they move the chains, and now it moves, and Aberdeen's ready to go. Give to Durbin off the right side. Good job by Havre Grace defensively.
I think they're going to have to throw the ball here once or twice.
3 plays from the 42, 1 first down. Clock moving at 2:28. Clock is moving. Rogers. Player in motion.
It's taking a long time to get this play off.
Really has. And now it's going to be the fake and the run. Up the middle. Just down almost to the first down.
It's not a 1st down, though, so the clock keeps going.
We talk about Rogers. His longest run of the year is 80 yards. So he's capable, of going the distance with the ball in his hands. Clock moving inside a minute 45. Back Back to throw without a fake, looking, throwing, has a man caught. That
That'll-
looks like Devontae Williams. Gain of about 15 down to the 21.
He ran about 5 seconds off that clock after the catch, and he was tackled.
Clock stopped on the resetting the chains. Now it's moving. Aberdeen ready to go.
And they started early because the chains
Looking,
weren't set.
looking, throwing, has a man. Does he get out of bounds?
How many timeouts do they have out there?
I think it says two, it says one. One on the, I think Aberdeen did take 2 timeouts earlier.
Is that one on the average? It's 1st and 10. I can't
Yeah.
see the timeouts out there.
Not
they
sure.
have it. Even may not be on the board.
Coming a minute left. Here's Rogers looking to get out of bounds and does so. Picks up the first down. Will stop the clock going out of bounds. Clock won't start, I should say, until they snap the ball. 54 seconds left.
Well, the official clock is on the field, so
Aberdeen right at the 15-yard line. Running, Rogers, middle, down to about the 5, still on his feet, inside the 5. Clock stops. Did somebody call a timeout? Clock is not moving. The flag goes down.
yeah, there's
Durbin goes down as well.
too many people on the field. I believe the guy didn't get off the field. The substitute they made didn't get off the field before the snap of the ball.
You talking about Aberdeen?
No, Havre Grace.
Havre Grace, huh? Let's let the official tell us. That's Brian Watson. Bob, you picked it up. It's exactly what it is. It's against Havre Grace.
That's what happens when a team goes quick. You can't. You try to make a long sub like that, and you can't get him on. He can't. He's just not fast enough to get there before they snap the football or get the guy off.
That again is Caleb Myers. He told us before the game. There you see Caleb. It's exactly what he said. We want to go quick, get the other team out of rhythm. Don't give them a chance to sub.
What's the ball's on about the 4-yard line now, Don? Is that
Looks at, yeah, and right at the 4. First and goal at the 4. 39 seconds, as you see, showing on the clock. Second down and goal. Havre Grace has led from the very beginning of the game. Got that interception, went in.
Both teams have moved the football.
Rogers doesn't have to hurry. Clock is not moving. Keeps the ball coming left, looking for a block, cuts it inside.
Touchdown.
He's in there from 4 yards out. It's Rogers completing the drive as Rogers goes in for his second touchdown. Both of them 4-yard runs. This time it is a 9-play drive from the Aberdeen 42-yard line. And here you'll see, until he cuts, now he'll cut it back. Takes a hit but goes right into the end zone. Rogers for the touchdown.
Aberdeen's going for 2, Don.
Yep, they were up by 12-7. They want to make it 2 touchdowns. Rogers looking to throw, now runs.
Whoops.
Hemmed in, and he will not be able to get that 2-point conversion. Good job by Havre Grace to keep it at a 1-score game. 12-7 is the score as Aberdeen takes their first lead with 34 seconds. Now, Bob, we go back to that 4th down long pass by Havre Grace when they turned the ball over to Aberdeen at the 42-yard line. You know, you look back and you say, well, maybe that was not the play that we needed to have.
Well, I'm sure what the coaches were thinking was that we only need 3 yards for first down. The cornerback will come up and shut that off, and we'll be able to run by him.
Yeah.
And then he'll be wide open when we throw that pass. And unfortunately, for them, the Aberdeen cornerback did the exact right job, did his job, as Bill Belichick would say.
Yeah.
And he stayed with them, and they had to throw it out of bounds.
That's Gavin Harris, the young man, the junior for Aberdeen, who made the great defensive play. So here's the kick. This time it's going to be a high floating kick coming down at the 15-yard line. Running it back, still on his feet, down the right sideline, finally out of bounds at the 41-yard line. That's Kamari McGritt, the running back who runs the ball back this time.
Well, we had number 71 on the tackle.
For Aberdeen?
Yeah.
And that would be, I don't have a 71 for Aberdeen. Here we will see the replay.
He chases him down. I mean, he really runs back.
Yeah, and it's not McGritt, it's Antonio Blackwell, number 1, not number 7.
Oh, there's 2 numbers on him.
Let's see now, Havre de Grace has 23 seconds from their 43-yard line of Aberdeen.
Well, you know they'll air this out.
Ringgold. Back to throw, has a man, going to be complete. Shakes one tackle, shakes another. Down that left side, still on his feet. Down to the 20-yard line, still moving down to the 10, and finally out of bounds. That's Josiah Lawrence with the catch. And just like that, Havre de Grace with the clock stopped at 11 seconds. What a tremendous turnaround for the Warriors. 11 seconds, plenty of time.
To run a play.
Yeah, and now we don't know how many timeouts Havre de Grace has.
The question is, do you kick the field goal? They have a good field goal or a good kicker.
Yeah, we saw that on the extra point.
You get the points. Do you get the points and just put the points up, or do you go for it? That's what coaches make decisions.
And they get paid big bucks for that, don't they?
Oh, yes, especially the Harford County Public Schools.
Well, here we go. Ringgold calling signals. See, timeout on the field. Timeout called
Aberdeen.
by Aberdeen.
Yeah.
I think they wanted to see what Havre de Grace did in lining up.
It's been exciting, Don. You really look at this football game. There hasn't been a lot of score, but there's been a lot of offense both ways. And now here we are with 11 seconds left, and Havre de Grace has a chance to punch it in and go, and
Bob,
go back and take the lead again.
Who would have thunk it? You had, 20-some seconds left.
Yeah.
Aberdeen scores. You figure, okay, we're going to go to half with Aberdeen up by 12-7.
But not with a quarterback like Ringgold who can throw the football and receivers who can run after they catch it.
Exactly. Right now with the ball at the 11-yard line, a first down and 10 with 11 seconds on the scoreboard. Again, we don't know how many timeouts if Havre de Grace has any left. So they've got time. If they throw it short and go out of bounds, they certainly can stop the clock that way.
Yes.
Well, here we go.
11 seconds. I mean, you should be able to at least get off 2 plays.
Unless, it's a long running
Possibly
play.
3, but depending on how quick you throw the football.
Here's Ringgold. Ringgold throwing in the end zone. Has a man, touchdown. Completed in the end zone. Looks like to Kamari McGritt. Is that number 7 who caught the ball?
4.
Number
Kevin
4.
Kevin Miller.
Yeah, Kevin Miller. Thank you. Kevin Miller with the touchdown. So there he is.
Isolate your best, maybe your best receiver, and you throw the football over to him.
Ringgold.
You run at him, and he makes a nice move and freezes the defender.
Ringgold to Kevin Miller for the touchdown. And the extra point attempt is up. And it is good. And so just like that, the Warriors go back on top by 14-12.
And there's still 6 seconds left.
No, you're not saying they can. Here's the touchdown pass. There you'll see it. Right in the end zone, and nobody close to him. Miller making the catch.
Yeah.
Kevin Miller, who has 28 catches on the year coming in. 5 TDs and now has 6. That play, Bob, what was that, a 2-play drive from the 42-yard line? Big return by Blackwell
maybe
down to
3.
the 42.
Yeah.
Wow. That's my comment. Wow.
Well, they moved the football down the field quickly, didn't they?
And look at the crowd. It is just such you talk about football, you talk about high school football, Bob, doesn't get any better. Senior night, homecoming, big crowd, great weather, temperature, what, maybe in the mid-50s?
Maybe.
Just a great fall day. 58, I'm told by the booth. Good job, Dylan. Yeah, so,
Wow.
yeah, and we're inside, so what do we care? Let's be honest, huh? Yeah. Mino said, why don't we put you on this little stand outside? And I said, no, I think we'll go to in the booth. We'll be better. We'll get a better view there. Here's the squib kick. As the time runs down, does the ball go out of bounds?
Ball went out of bounds, but
So the clock stops at 6 seconds.
it started at 6.
Could it happen that?
But the official time is on the field, so.
But it's close because they will. There you see referee Brian Watson.
Are they going to make him kick it again, or are they going to? They're going to bring it out to the.
Yeah, they're going to sell a procedure penalty against Havre Grace.
Yeah, we'll make him kick it again.
Well, we saw Blackwell make that big return for Havre Grace.
Yeah.
Could Aberdeen do the same thing?
I don't know how fast you can, how many yards you can run. 6 seconds.
Well, as long as you're running, that the clock doesn't matter.
No, if you can get all the way to the end zone.
Well, you're a head coach, you're Brian Eberhardt. You know, I don't have much hair, and he does. I don't understand that. You know, he still has hair, and he's been coaching for 14 years. Because these are the times that try men's souls, as Thomas Paine wrote one day. 14-12, the Havre Grace lead. They led 7-0, then 7-6.
Was he on TV back then when he said that?
No. No, TV had not quite been in. Here's the ball bouncing, picked up by Aberdeen. On his feet, down that sideline. The clock has run out, and he goes out of bounds. So, wow. Again, if you're Brian Eberhardt, your heart is in your throat. But he does go out of bounds, and that will end the half at 14-12. Bob, that is just as good a half as we've seen in a while. So that is our score, 14-12. Bob McCone, your assessment of that first half?
I thought both teams actually played well. You know, both teams moved the football. You know, a play or two could change things. Havre Grace had 2 opportunities, and they scored on both of their opportunities. Aberdeen had a couple opportunities, scored on those, and you know both teams made a mistake. Aberdeen stopped Havre Grace one time, and Havre Grace for the first touchdown intercepted Aberdeen, and then drove it down to score. So, you know, now it's halftime, and we're getting ready to hear that great Havre Grace bands.
We are at halftime. Joshua Dill and the Havre Grace band will be entertaining. We'll take a break here, come right back in the second half, so don't you go away. Right back to Havre Grace. We are back with you at Havre Grace High School. Don Morrison, Bob McCone. Bob, again, if you want to plan a game and you say, what kind of game do we want to see? 14-12 at the half when the lead changed hands a couple of times. We had an interception. We had all kinds of fun. That's the kind of half you'd want to see on homecoming night.
That's the exact kind of half you want to see. Unless you're the Aberdeen coach, you'd like to have the 14 instead of the 12. But from a standpoint from us doing the game and people watching at home, it's really been an exciting football game.
And it was an exciting halftime. Again, it was senior night. It was homecoming. Brett Simple was the king, and Anna Sadowski the queen. Congratulations to them here at Havre Grace. Bob, it's only the 6th game of the year, but this is the Havre Grace final home game of the year. They're on the road the rest of the year.
Yeah. You know, I'm trying not to laugh because as a coach, I think, oh my God, I would never schedule the last 4 games away from home, you know, for any reason. But sometimes it just works that way, and you can't help it.
Bob, and you know, it's the new system we have in Harford County and Cecil County. It's the 3 divisions instead of the Susquehanna and the Chesapeake. Now you've got the Hatem, the Tidings, and the Conowingo. The Hatem division, where Havre Grace resides, they're 0-2. They play with Edgewood, Seamoulton Wright, Hartford Tech, and North Hartford. Aberdeen is in the Tidings. They're 1-1. They play against Bel Air, Patterson Mill, Falston, and Joppatown. Then they have the 3 division winners, and then they choose the team that has the best record that didn't win a division.
Well, which one's the third division? Who's in that division?
That's in the Cecil County. So the 5 schools of Cecil County, the Conowingo division,
Okay.
they form that third division. So again, you have the 3 champions, and then you have the team with the best record that didn't win a championship, and you have a 4-way play. 1 plays 4, 2 plays 3. And so the good news is you have, for the first time in ever, a true champion of the UCBAC. Back when you had the Susquehanna and the Chesapeake, the better teams, Susquehanna the lower teams, Susquehanna almost never beat the Chesapeake. And then they stopped doing the championship game altogether, so you had 2 champions. So it has that advantage. And they're playing it out last spring and this year to see how it works out. And there are people who say, great idea, let's do it. And other people say, I'm not so sure. I'm sort of on the fence now. I can see the good part of it, and I can see the part that maybe has some challenges.
Yeah.
There you see Brian Eberhard talking to his team and Caleb Myers talking to his team. It has been a wonderful first half. Let's see if the second half can measure up to the first half.
Yeah, I would say this, Don. I was only an assistant football coach for a number of years, so that didn't matter. When I was the head basketball coach, things like that would have really mattered to me, because if they kept us from playing outside opposition that was really good and talented, and they could make our kids better and give them better challenges, then I would have, it would have bothered me.
We'll see how it works out. Yeah, it's still, open to some conjecture. Oh, by the way, I didn't give you the assistant coaches for Aberdeen, and I should have. Havre Grace we talked about. Aberdeen, we have Joey Powell, Daryl Turner, Garland Scott, Caleb Crawford, Anthony Johnson, and Sean Howard. They are, and also Cam Allen Jones. They are the assistants to Aberdeen. Jerry Lee, had a chance to talk to Jerry Lee. Remember Jerry?
Oh, I know Jerry well.
Oh, Jerry is still here. He is like an institution in Havre Grace. I think Jerry Lee is like, if you said, cute. If you wanted to elect somebody just mayor, he'd win everybody would vote for Jerry.
So what's Jerry Lee doing? Is he coaching football still?
Yeah, he's still helping to coach football with Brian Eberhard's team.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Way to go, Jerry.
Yeah, wonderful guy. Havre Grace, we talk about it, that the great thing about this city is that people come here and they stay. They spend their lifetime here. So, it's not like a transient kind of a thing. So you get to know your neighbors, and sometimes that's good and sometimes challenging, but a wonderful place. Hey, Bob, we also talked, they have 80 members of the band, 800 kids in the school. Math is never my long suit. That's about 10%.
10%?
10% of the student body is in the band. Then you got to have a football team and a soccer team and a volleyball team. And
field hockey team.
Field hockey team. And, the Batman
cross-country team.
Batman is still here. Batman and Robin. But they both look like Batman. I'm confused.
I don't know.
Yeah. Wonderful night here at Havre Grace.
He needs to turn his alter ego in and get the real Robin, huh?
Havre Grace scored first, a 22-yard run by...
There we go.
Yep, and we're ready to go by McGritt, and we are underway, and it is a squib kick.
And Aberdeen, I think, recovered it.
Aberdeen, touched by Havre Grace. I think Aberdeen has the ball. Well, that's very rude of them, starting that play before I was finished my little diatribe. Let's see who gives the ball. Here's the squib kick.
You know what they say, Don? Greatness waits for no man.
Touched by Havre Grace, recovered by Aberdeen. So the Eagles will get the ball starting 1st and 10 inside Havre Grace territory at the 49-yard line as we start the second half.
Which means we know they're in four down territory here, right?
Well, they started when they're on 32 and 4th down. No question about it. No, they give the ball to Havre Grace, Bob. I thought Aberdeen had recovered it.
I did too. It looked like 2 kids from Aberdeen were on the ball.
Erase everything I said. Did it not go 10 yards? Is that the...
Well, it's over 10 yards. So maybe maybe they touched it before the 10 and knocked it over, and the Havre Grace kid got it.
So cancel everything that I said before. Havre Grace has the ball at their own 49. Here's the handoff. Nope. Keeping it by...
Nice fake.
And the pass. He's got his man complete. Right down at about the 12 or the 20-yard line. Kevin Miller with the catch. The pass by Julian Ringgold. Kevin Miller, the junior, the younger brother of Miles Miller.
Boy, that was a nice throw. Nice and soft and right in his hands here. Look at this. Replay. Look at this. Beautiful.
Beautiful pass. Great pattern.
Yeah.
Down at the 20-yard line. First down and 10, the ball at the 20.
Ooh, where's number 6?
For
Aberdeen.
Aberdeen.
Yeah.
Let's watch this play.
He's one of the two that made the tackle on that play.
It's Randy Wilkinson, number 6, who made that saving tackle. No gain on first down.
Couldn't see the other number, so I'm sorry, Mom.
Second down and 10, the ball at the 20-yard line. What looked like an Aberdeen fumble recovery on the squib kick turns out to be Havre Grace ball, and on the first play, they take advantage. A 30-yard pass.
Talk about being aggressive,
Ringgold.
Don. Everything that Aberdeen's done has been aggressive.
Yeah.
Some of it's gotten him in trouble.
Man in motion, that's Miles from the near to the far side. Handoff coming to McGritt to the near side. Turns back to the middle, picks up good yardage. Close to a first down at about the 11-yard line. Bob, you commented about McGritt being the kind of shifty running back. Not powerful necessarily, but, you know, very shifty.
You know, the principal Brian Spencer, his son's got a little dog in him, man. He made a great block on that play and drove the kid. I think he'd have drove the kid back to Aberdeen, except they have a fence to keep him from getting knocked out back that way.
Palmer Spence, we're talking about number 8. Another great
18, yeah.
Another great block. Yep, number 18. Third down and about a half yard for the first down. Bouncing around looking for yardage.
That time, Aberdeen defensive line did a really good job of just maintaining their position and waiting for the runner to come, and then made him make a choice and tackled him.
They're going to say, did he get the first down? Yes, he did. Inside the 10-yard line, so it will be first and goal. You see Caleb Myers. He didn't believe it. Caleb kind of shaking his head. I'd like to see an instant replay on that.
Well, if you're the defensive coach on this, you'd much rather them have the first down right inside the 10-yard line, because they have to go the whole way now, rather than on the 5, be 1st and 5. So
officials calling a brief timeout. We're back and playing first down and goal for Havre Grace. Ringgold throwing. Has a man in the back of the end zone, just off the fingertips of Palmer Spence. Palmer almost had it.
I'm not sure if that ball was tipped or if it was just thrown to the other side of his shoulder.
Ringgold he sort of ran to the left, had to turn his shoulders back, threw it a little bit high. Spence, I know, is upset with himself. He thought maybe that he could have pulled it in. Here you go, on the replay, you'll see the throw. Yeah, you're right, Bob. Maybe to the back shoulder it went. Second down and goal. Aberdeen jumps, didn't get called. Here's a pass. Now flag will go down. They're going to call pass interference, I believe.
I believe the defender put his left arm around the guy and pulled him as he, and that's how he beat him, and he grabbed him a little bit. And
Kevin Miller didn't catch the ball, but I think will get the penalty.
Yeah.
So let the officials talk about it, sort it out. Pass interference is the call. Brian Watson. Here you'll see it.
Well, you can't see it. You had to see it in the beginning.
Yeah. The flag is thrown. Against Peyton Furr, number 10. That was a very close call, but it will benefit the Warriors. Let's see now. What are they? They're going to march it off. Half the distance. Bob, that should be a first down, I believe. Nope, it's second down, second and goal from the 5.
Yeah, I don't know what that call was.
It was definitely pass interference, but they only gave them the 5 yards. There's another flag going down on the far side, and another flag. It looks like this might be unsportsmanlike on one of the other teams, or maybe both. And there the officials are talking about it. Brian Watson. I think we saw, what, maybe 1 or 2 penalties the entire first half?
Yeah, the first half game was a really clean, easy game. You know, good hitting, legal hitting, but nothing like this.
Brian Watson going to let us know. Unsportsmanlike against Aberdeen and against Havre Grace.
So it wipes it both out.
Yep.
And it's third down now.
So nothing happened. Much to do about nothing.
Well, the play stood. They moved the ball up.
Yeah.
To where he was tackled. So.
Yeah, it was a after.
Yeah,
the
after
play
the
was
play.
over.
Yeah.
So it will be now a third down and goal. The ball at the 4-yard line. Some weird goings on here. I think that pass interference may have really benefited Aberdeen. If he had caught the ball, he'd have been close to the end zone. Here's Ringgold. Oh, the fumble. He's going to jump on it. It's going to be 4th down, though. Not sure if he took the eye off the snap. And so now it is 4th down, and now, Bob, maybe we'll see that field goal kicker.
I don't know. I think I'd go for it much rather than kick the field goal here.
Yeah,
That only puts you up by 5.
Yeah, and the ball's on the 10, so even if you don't get it, Aberdeen has the ball deep in their own territory. So here we go, 4th down and goal, the ball from the 10. Let's see what Ringgold comes up with. Julian Ringgold, the senior
I don't know, but I
quarterback.
might double number 4 over here.
Rolling, looking, throwing, short, low. They're going to say incomplete. The referee on the spot says it's incomplete.
Incomplete.
I think Kevin Miller thinks he got his hands under the ball to make the scoop, but they're going to say no.
Well, we can't. I don't think we'll be able to see the. No, that bounced.
It did bounce. There's no question about it.
It bounced. There's absolutely no question.
Yep.
I don't know how the official right in front didn't see it.
Yeah, he's looking.
Yeah, but he didn't. I mean, you saw that. You'd make that call quickly.
He didn't make the call at all. So a 6-play
didn't
drive,
see it.
starting at the 49 of Havre Grace on that squib kick, starting the second half. Aberdeen dodges the bullet. They're able to stop Havre Grace at the 10-yard line. So Aberdeen will take over. That drive took about 4 minutes, resulting in no points. Score remaining at 12-7.
Like we said, Don, they've gone up and down the field a lot. You know, scored some points, but
Aberdeen now, their first possession of the second half. Colin Rogers, the quarterback. Rogers again, handoff. Durbin
that's his second carry, yeah.
gets maybe 2 or 3. It's going to be a 3rd down. 3rd down, about 5, maybe a long 4. But is it 4-down territory for Aberdeen?
Well, they got to get to the 21 here, so it's a good 5 yards.
Here's the handoff. And I think he's going to be stopped about a half-yard short.
Oh, that's good. Let's go. Let's go. It's 4th down. Let's go.
Yeah, they did it on the 32-yard line before. Now they're
Don,
on
look
their
at
own.
this. You're kidding me.
Yeah, he's going.
Now the quarterback's going to keep it, right? Fake that handoff and keep it.
He is. Let's see if he can make. Oh, the tackle is made. What a tackle by Havre Grace. Is that number 7? It looks like. Oh.
What did I tell you about Havre Grace? That they're really, really hard to run outside against because they have speed. That's Spencer Palm. Or, oh, no. He was on the inside, number 3.
It's number 3, yeah. And that is Miles Miller.
Miller, yeah.
Miles Miller, the two-way player, comes in and made that tackle at the 10-yard line. So just like that,
And the Miller family's contributed a lot to this ball game.
Havre Grace has the ball back again at the 10 of Aberdeen. So
Wow.
turn the page over. That is our comment on this whole thing. Here's the throw into the end zone, diving, incomplete.
Pass intended for Kevin Miller's chest.
Ball just a little bit wide.
Second down for the Warriors.
I think that was Miles Miller again, number 3. Second down and 10. No, it's second down and goal. The ball is inside the 10-yard line.
Yes, it is.
Looks like it's, from my vantage point, just at the point of the 10, but they don't have a down marker near the 1, so
No,
it is,
well, they have a down marker on the ground, which means it's inside the 10.
yeah, second and goal. In motion, Miller. Back, being rushed, gets away.
Oh, Houdini!
Ringgold throws it.
Houdini!
Oh, just a bit high.
Oh, my goodness.
How did he get out of that? But the throw a bit high.
He
And
looked
so
like Lamar on that one to get free and to throw the ball.
Lamar without a hamstring injury, right?
Ooh.
So that's a third and goal from the 10. You can see Ringgold, Julian Ringgold, just a little bit upset with himself after escaping,
Yeah.
and then throws the ball a bit high. That's Jack Eberhardt, the son of Coach Brian Eberhardt, the offensive coordinator. Third year as the offensive coordinator at Havre Grace.
Okay, Don. The
Third
next
down.
question is, are we in 4-down territory here?
Well, yes, they went for it before. Almost a fumble. Ringgold being hit, gets away
we got
again.
another Houdini
Ringgold
play.
still on his feet and taken down inside the 10. Wow, great play by Aberdeen to keep him out of the end zone.
It was a good tackle.
Yeah, that's Chase Saunders, number 11, who made the tackle. Comes up limping a bit. Now that brings up 4th down.
Kicking the field goal. Don.
Last time they didn't, this time they're going to try it. Yim Zakari. Let's see if we can pick up the number. Yeah, that's Zakari. Kick down. Oh, the kick is no good.
So they'll bring it back to the 20 then.
Yeah, so Aberdeen, against all odds, dodges the bullet, and they'll take over on the 20.
I guess you can be aggressive if you keep dodging bullets.
Oh, what a game this has been. I mean, I'm here in the booth, sort of nonpartisan, and I'm spent. Imagine Havre Grace and Aberdeen, the fans.
Yeah, the fans are spent. The players, they don't even think about it. They're just playing. They got the next play they have to deal with. So,
Well, Aberdeen has had the ball inside their own 10-yard line twice to begin this second half, and no points been put on the board. They're still down by just 2. Colin Rogers, the Aberdeen quarterback. There you see Caleb Myers in the background, the head coach, urging his team on. Keeping the ball is Rogers. About 5 on 1st down.
you know what we really haven't had lately for a long time is just a big play on offense.
Bob, you go back to the Falston game where Aberdeen played Falston and lost it 57-50 in a shootout. And this game has had as much action, I think, but no points have been scored, or relatively few. Here's the cutback by Durbin.
That's a good play against the Havre Grace team because Havre Grace goes to the football. And so if you can cut back across the grain and find that little seam, you're going to run for a while.
Cam Durbin does pick up the 1st down. Durbin 654 yards, 7.5 per carry. Gets the ball again. Same play, cuts it back. Gets out to the 40.
That's a 7-yard gain there.
Looked like an instant replay of the play before. Aberdeen just relentless. Back on the ball, ready to go.
Just trying to wear them down, continually trying to wear them down.
Colin Rogers, the quarterback, keeps the ball, has the first down inside or just almost to the 50-yard line. Boy, what a nice play, huh?
We'll find out if they wear them down in the last 7 minutes of the fourth quarter.
Bob, he rode that ball in Durbin's chest until he saw what happened, saw he had an opening, and then took it away.
Yep, that's what the quarterback's supposed to do.
Very smart play. First down and 10, the ball at the 48-yard line of Aberdeen. Drive started on the 20. Trying to draw Havre Grace offside with that inflection of the voice. Coming up on the 4-minute mark of the third period. Durbin.
First down.
Across the 50 on that first down carry.
Just a couple.
Give him about 3 on the first down. You may hear some pounding on a desk. It's the coach for Havre Grace that we see on the far side, and he is very much into it up here in the booth. Second down and about 7. Handoff coming this way, Durbin. Going to be hit and held.
Tough to run. I keep saying it's tough to run that outside play against Havre Grace because they flow to the ball and they're quick.
Tackle made by Maurice Foxworth, the defensive end on that side. Gain of just about nothing. The ball still at the 49-yard line. They've got to get down to the 42 for the first down. 3rd and 7.
We're going to throw the football here. Well, they got 3 guys. Aberdeen's got 3 guys out there, and Havre Grace only has 2 defenders. Well, there's a third one. See, he's wide open.
Almost intercepted by Shelley.
Oh my gosh.
That was his second attempt at an interception. He made the one back in the first period.
Oh, the Aberdeen one Aberdeen player of the 3 was wide open.
Yeah.
And he threw the ball low, and instead of putting it up in the air and letting him, oh my goodness.
Almost a replay of that interception by Shelley in the first half. So now it's a 4th down, and they're going for it. Surprise, surprise. 4th down and 7.
You got the same thing again.
Durbin resetting. Looking to throw. Over the middle, incomplete. And the ball will go over to Havre Grace on downs.
Result of that play is a turnover on downs.
So Havre Grace will take over now at their own 48-yard line. Wow. That's kind of been my comment, Bob, all night. Wow. So much excitement, so much activity going on, but no points being put on the board.
This is what Aberdeen has done.
Bob is showing me, look on TV now. You won't be able to see what Bob is showing me, but it's something very intricate. I don't understand it, but it's good.
There's 3. Havre Grace had 2. This kid stepped up in here. So this kid was covered, this kid was covered, and this kid ran free.
Meantime, here comes Havre Grace with the ball. Kamari McGritt. Going to be hit and held just about at the 45-yard line of Aberdeen.
The rule is if you put 3 wide receivers out, you need to have 3 defenders out to be able to match up with them. And Havre Grace has only had 2 the last 2 times.
Yeah.
And so one's ran free both times.
But they,
and he couldn't.
We talked about dodging the bullet. They certainly did again. So now it is 2nd down, 2nd and about 3, maybe 3.5. Spence resetting. Handoff, McGritt. Hemmed in, looking for an opening. Dives forward maybe a yard or 2. Bringing up now a 3rd down.
You've got to get to the 39-yard line.
Or the 41, actually. Yeah, 41, right?
40. They're 41. Yeah.
About maybe call it 2, maybe a short 2.
Oh, it's a full 2.
But Bob, you know it's a 4-down territory. We can say that for sure. Both teams have taken the chances deep in their own territory.
Absolutely. They're
Julian,
not shy.
Not at all. Julian Ringgold puts McGritt in motion, gives the ball inside, hit close to the first down.
Ooh, that is close. I think it's a first down. I think he got enough to get a first down.
It is a first down.
Yeah.
First time we've seen
He drove those legs to get to that first down marker.
Jordan Copeland Taylor, number 21. First time we've called his name, getting the first down at the 41. Clock rolling as you see, a minute left here in the third period.
That was a big first down for the Warriors.
Keeping the drive alive. Spence in motion. Handoff, McGritt cuts it back. Boom, he's hit hard. That was my John Madden there. Good run, good hard hit.
I thought there was a hole there. He hit it, and then all of a sudden it closed.
Somebody closed it. It looked like number 7 for Aberdeen.
Yeah.
DeSayas Darby. DeSayas has 29 tackles on the year coming in, senior. It'll bring up a second down and about 6. 5-play drive started back at the Havre de Grace 49 after they held Aberdeen on downs. High snap, recovered, but it's going to be disastrous for Havre de Grace. Woo. All the way back at the 45-yard line. McGritt ended up with the ball. I think he wished he didn't have the ball. It's going to be third down as they lose about 7 on the play, 3rd and 12. So Bob, what do you come up with here?
It's the end of the third quarter.
That is the end of the third period.
Yeah, third period.
I didn't see the Aberdeen player who came in and made that tackle. High snap. It was controlled by Ringgold. Somehow the ball went to McGritt, and McGritt got about 3 of those white shirts as soon as he got the ball. So here we go into the fourth period with Havre de Grace holding on to that 14-12 lead, the lead they got in the last 4 seconds of the first half on that Kevin Miller catch from Ringgold. A 2-play drive that gave Havre de Grace the unlikely lead when it looked like Aberdeen was going to go into the half with a 12-7 lead. It has been an exciting game, and we have, Bob, 12 more minutes to enjoy this.
I was just looking at the official spotting the football, changing it from one side of the field, going over to the other side of the field and the other side of the field to spot the ball. I want to see he put it in the same spot. And he did.
Yeah, that's confusing, you know, moving the ball.
It is.
There you see it.
I've seen so many times I've seen him put the ball down at the wrong spot.
He moved it from the near side to the far side and from one side of the 50-yard line to the other side. And
had to change the quarter.
And of course, the team's changing sides. Aberdeen will be defending from right to left. Havre de Grace going from left to right.
And it is only, what, third down?
Yep, third down and 2.
No, 12.
Third down and 12, thank you, Bob. I'm still confused when they switch.
Yeah,
here's Ringgold
change
being
everything
hemmed
on
in,
you.
and Ringgold is going to go down.
Now it's going to be 4th and
yeah, about
a good 16.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Ringgold is taken down by 3 or 4 of those white shirts of Aberdeen. Let's see, will they punt?
They will punt the ball. Their head coach has faith in their defense.
Yeah, he wants to make sure the field gets switched, so Aberdeen will have the long field to travel. That's Yim Zakari to punt the ball away. Kind of just pooches it down there.
Yeah, he does. And look at the roll. Look at the roll.
That's almost like Australian rule football when you hit the ball and let it roll all the way down to the 5.
Yeah.
Great punt by Zakari. So now Aberdeen has the ball 95 yards away from pay dirt with 11 minutes and 10 seconds left in the game, down by 2 points.
Well, Don, we right now we will find out if Aberdeen has worn Havre Grace down or they haven't. Because, you know, going fast, trying to wear the other team down. Well, it shows up in the fourth period. And we are now in the fourth period.
Aberdeen trailing by 2 points. They lost last year's game by 4. Looking to try to come over their fourth win. There's a little pass on a swing. Shakes one tackle, gets up to the 10-yard line.
Yeah. Havre Grace was in a straight 4-3-4 pro defense that time.
We'll bring up second and about 7.
Now they're changing up a little bit.
Randy Wilkinson catching that last pass. Very little yardage up the middle.
Yeah.
Durbin. And now a key third down, 3rd and 5. Clock running and heading toward the 10-minute mark. You would think a passing down, Bob.
You would think so, but they've run it a few times on this down. Well, it's passing now.
Durbin. Looking down the middle, long pass. Has a man, caught it at the 40, going down the middle of the field. And a touchdown, Devontae Williams catches the ball at the 40 on a beautiful throw by Colin Rogers. It is a 90-yard touchdown pass from Colin Rogers to Devontae Williams. Bob, what do you think?
Well, I said we haven't seen a big play for a while, and here we go, right here.
Great
Look at the
pass.
catch, over the shoulder.
Oh, what a catch. Untouched all the way into the end zone. Devontae Williams, his 3rd touchdown pass of the year, and Aberdeen takes the lead now at 18-14. 90
I'd still go for 2 here, absolutely.
Rogers to Williams. What a pass play, 9:37. Aberdeen is going for 2.
Keep running.
Rogers running into the end zone. He has the 2-point conversion, does Rogers, and now that lead expands to 20-14.
Now, the important part of that was now if Havre Grace scores, they have to get either the extra point, they have to make the extra point, whether it's a 1 or a 2 to go ahead. But if they would have kicked the 1, they would have only been up by 5.
A 90-yard touchdown, Bob. Bob, you know, we've been watching football since we were mere children. That's a lot of time ago. I don't think I've ever seen a more perfect pass play thrown by Ringgold, or thrown by Rogers, I should say, and right into the hands of Williams, who ran right by the defender all the way into the end zone.
I mean, it looked like a Peyton Manning or a Tom Brady or
a Johnny Unitas to Raymond Berry.
Or a Matt Stafford. I mean, Matt Stafford throws the ball really deep. That's what it looked like. It was soft in his hands. I mean,
coming up to the 30-yard line, fumbling it, and getting out to about the 37-yard line. Havre Grace putting the ball in play at their own 37.
I'd love to see that kid's number.
The one who made the tackle?
Yeah, the one who put his hands out and just ripped him. I don't know if it was 5 or 7.
We'll give credit to both 5 and 7.
And I think it was 7. I think it was Darby.
DeSayas Darby?
Yeah, I think so.
There you see the Havre Grace band. We're talking about Mr. Dill, Joshua Dill, and his 80-member band. Just doing a great job here tonight. High school football at its very, very best.
Well, it's been a good, clean, hard-fought game. That's all you can really ask for.
Hemmed in and taken down.
Ooh. Little emphasis there by number 9.
And that's Aaron Dixon for Aberdeen.
The other one snuck away from me.
Lost
40.
Kadir Gross, just up from the JV.
Good time to come up.
Yep. Ball at the 34-yard line, a loss of 4 on the first down. Bob, that tends to take the heart out of you if you're Havre de Grace. You've got to come back here.
You know, I'd be throwing the football to number 4 on a deep pattern myself.
Kevin Miller, the number 4. Handoff around the left side. Gets back to about the original line of scrimmage. Bring up a third down. Clock running, coming up on 8 minutes. Homecoming crowd here at Havre de Grace.
Aberdeen's playing their wide receivers one-on-one. I mean, to me, that's a challenge. You know, if I think my wide receiver's better than your defensive back, I'd be isolating somebody. And now they've isolated both wide receivers.
Antonio Blackwell, number 1, here on the near side. The throw, great hit just as the ball got there.
Aberdeen made an adjustment on that, Don. They brought three of their defensive backs out with the 3 wide receivers. And when the one kid curled up, the defensive back just went up and ripped him and got the ball. So
that's Noah Hall, the freshman, coming up and making that tackle. Now it's 4th down. And it looks like Havre de Grace is going to pump the ball away. 4th down and about 12. Zakari back into punt.
Well, you know they're going to punt. Why don't you go?
And Aberdeen will return it. Falling down just about at the 40-yard line. Aberdeen in good field position.
Looks like number 11 for Aberdeen.
For Aberdeen, they're returning.
Looked like it.
Yeah, I think you're right. And Chase Saunders.
Yeah.
So Aberdeen will have the ball, 1st and 10, in good field position at their own about 41-yard line. Were you surprised that Aberdeen or Havre de Grace punted?
No. He has faith in his defense. I don't, and there's plenty of time.
7 minutes and 44 seconds as Aberdeen puts the ball in play. 1st and 10 from their own 41. Leading now by 6 points. Rogers gives the ball off into that line, hit hard. Great tackle, Bob. I'm trying to pick up the number. It looks like 73.
No, he's a linebacker, 21, something like that. Possibly 23.
Yeah, Mackay Coleman making the tackle. No gain. Throwing the ball, has his man down the middle.
Oh, my word.
He could go down to the 10-yard line and taken down. What a great pass play. Ball is down. It comes out, but the ball is down.
It looked like the Ravens and Mark Andrews in the old days. Just run right down the middle and Lamar hit him.
Looked like the pass play, was that to Peyton Furr? Was it number 10?
It was the tight end.
The fake into the middle, and you'll see the pass play. It is to, no, it looks number 19, it's Mason Holmes. Mason Holmes gets the big gain all the way down to the 10-yard line. What a great play by Rogers. Great fake.
It was a good call by their coaching staff.
Handoff. Durbin. Hit after a short gain.
From an Aberdeen standpoint right now, it's important that they protect the football coming down here, because they have an opportunity to really put themselves in excellent position.
Yeah, going up by 2 scores. They're up by 1 score.
And Aberdeen has to, Havre de Grace has to stop them.
Yep.
That's their only concern right now, is to keep them out of the end zone and no field goals.
And the clock, of course, is the friend of Aberdeen.
But there's plenty of time right now.
If they can stop them. Aberdeen, as you see, letting the clock run down. Keep Rogers still on his feet.
That's close. It's awful close.
Down near the goal line. His 4-play drive started at Aberdeen's 42. The big pass play from Rogers to Holmes.
It's a little bit short.
Second down.
No, it's 3rd and 1.
Round the corner. Durbin. Is that a flag? I think Durbin is in.
Is that?
No, they're going to say a flag against Aberdeen. So erase the touchdown. Not sure what the call is. Let's let the officials call it. Brian Watson. Looked like maybe it's some sort of a procedure call. Yeah. So wipe out the touchdown.
Wipe out the 1st down. He called holding, it looks like. I guess I should look at the screen rather than the...
Yeah, Caleb Watson, or Caleb Myers, the Aberdeen coach. Yeah, it is a big one.
It's a 10-yard, or well, 15-yarder. Oh, or was it
a 10-yarder.
10-yarder, yeah.
Yeah, it was holding. There you see Caleb Myers. He didn't agree with the call, I would imagine.
Well, he couldn't see the holding if it was behind him. I know one thing, he turned that corner free.
3rd down and 9. Rogers around the corner.
Well, he's only about, he's a yard or 2 short at the most, so you know Aberdeen's going to go for it 4th down.
Well, if you're confident in your field goal kicker, here you go up 23-14, 9 points.
He missed the extra point.
Oh.
You were going for the 1st down.
Yeah. They're about 4 yards short of the 1st down.
Oh my, that's...
Got to get down to the 5.
Yeah.
Big play here in the game. If Aberdeen can convert, they can put the game away for all intents and purposes.
I have no idea where the ball's at and where the 1st down marker is because they just took the... They're moving it back again.
I'm not sure. Maybe the official will give us a hint. Procedure.
So that's a 5-yard penalty and it goes back to 3rd down again.
Yep. 3rd down, but now it is about 14 yards to go for the 1st down. Caleb Myers trying to get an explanation for it. We talked about almost no penalties in the first half. There have been a bunch of them here in the second half. Big play, 3rd down. Got to get down to the 5-yard line for the 1st down.
He better be able to release this ball quickly because I think Havre is going to come on this play.
Rogers looking, throwing, diving, incomplete. 4th down. Holmes, the intended receiver. And again, if you had confidence in your field goal kicker, here would be a spot to go up by 9.
It would be a 37-yarder, so you'd have to have a lot of confidence in your field goal kicker.
And apparently, as you can see, it'll be Rogers.
It'll be a 35-yarder.
4th down. Durbin in motion. Being rushed. Rogers avoids the rush. Running the ball. Hit and held just at the 10-yard line, and it will go over to Havre on downs. The good news for Aberdeen, they're 90 yards away are the Warriors. They have 4:55 left in the game, so plenty of time, Bob.
Oh, it's plenty of time.
Wow. I said that a number of times, wow. That would be my one word I want to say about this game. It has been everything that we hoped it would be. Competitive, well played, both teams with opportunities.
Well, that's it. There's been a lot of opportunities, and all those opportunities are like, wow, you've got an opportunity here, but not all of the opportunities have come to fruition, like that one didn't, or the one before that.
Ringgold looking, throwing, has his man complete, shakes one tackle, shakes another, still on his feet, finally taken down at about the 34-yard line.
Well, if you can't tackle him and get him down on the ground, it's going to be a problem.
That's Josiah Lawrence, the senior, with that great grab, and then just would not go down.
you got to get people to the grass if you're going to stop them.
Drive starting at the 10-yard line of Havre Grace, all the way up to the 34 on that 24-yard pass play. They call them yaks, yards after the catch. Miller in motion. That's Miles Miller. Here's a pass. Complete. Running down to the 50. And a fumble. The ball is loose. Is it recovered in bounds? Let's let the official call it. It was right on the out-of-bounds marker.
Replay. Let's check the...
Boy, the play of the game is right here.
Let's check the film.
Here is the replay. You'll see it. Let's see what the officials call.
They may not want us to show the replay.
Here it is. You'll see where the ball is fumbled. Right there, it comes out. It's inbounds, and then did he have control before he went out of bounds?
I think he had control, and then he took another knee to the sideline, and it went out after that.
The officials don't have the benefit of what we do, which is the replay. Wow, what a call. You can see that it's a call they're taking very, and they say it's Aberdeen football. The ball at the 45-yard line. Who are they giving credit to on the fumble recovery? Looks like it may have been number 9, Aaron Dixon.
Could have been. We'd have to see another replay.
What a close call. I think, Bob, it was the right call from what we saw.
I think so too, but you know, it went fast. Usually it was a very difficult call, and that's when I actually feel for the officials, because you know it really hurts one team, and as long as you get it right, that's okay.
Yep.
But
and I think the replay will show that he got it right.
I kind of do too. I think he recovered it, and then he crawled again, and okay.
Rogers up to about the 47. Clock.
But if you remember this, Don, before the first half, to go 40 yards, what did Havre Grace need? 34 seconds?
Yeah, even less than that. 3 minutes, 45 seconds. Handoff, hit and held. Well, the Warriors are doing exactly what they need to do, and that is come up stiffly and stop them to get the ball back.
Well, I would doubt seriously that they're going to go for it in fourth down here. It's third down now, but if they don't get, if Aberdeen doesn't get this,
You think they would punt it? I don't think they haven't punted all night, so.
No, they haven't.
Rogers calling signals. What a game it has been. Rogers rolling this way, looking for a block. Sheds one, gets the first down and more. What a play by Colin Rogers.
Oh, 2 Havre Grace players had opportunities to tackle him, and neither one of them did.
Rogers with 593 yards on the year, a 9.0 per carry average. That is the play of the game right there. Brings a first down now and 4 more downs for Aberdeen. What a play by Colin Rogers. Clock running.
We're going to be running the football here on this play.
And they're taking all the time they can. The clock is the friend of Aberdeen. Handoff. Great tackle. Number 3 on the tackle, that's Miller, yeah. He comes in and makes the tackle. Timeout on the field. Miles Miller, the senior 2-way player, 4-year starter for Havre Grace. Timeout on the field. 2 minutes and 23 seconds left in the game. Second down. Here's a replay you'll see on this tackle. What a Beautiful tackle. Came in and took the legs right out from the ball carrier. Brian Eberhardt on the right. Caleb Myers on the left. Both teams coming in at 3-2 on the year. In separate divisions, Bob, so there's a chance they could meet again in the playoffs for the UCBAC title. Although Havre de Grace 0-2 in their division, Aberdeen 1-1 in its division, so they would have to reel off some wins to get there. Second down, 12 yards to go. Rolling, Rogers looking, throwing long. Looks like a lot of contact. The ball for Tavante Williams. Gavin Johnson on the contact. It looked like Johnson didn't have his eyes toward the quarterback. Don't know, I've been a long way away from it. There was some contact before the ball came down. Again, surprised at the call, Bob?
I was surprised they threw the football. You could have run another 40 seconds off the clock by...
Yeah, clock stopped at 2:16. Third down and 12. A give to Durbin around that corner.
Don't run out of bounds.
He gets down to about the 27? They got to get to the 25 for the first down. There you see our moon tonight, Bob. We haven't commented on that. Is that
our harvest moon, or?
If Tim Recco were here, he would tell us it is a waxing.
Waning or waxing? Is it going up or coming down?
It's coming down.
That's waning, right?
It's a waning gibbous. A waning gibbous. That's what Tim Recco would say. Well, what I say, it's fourth down and 4. And Bob, here is the ball game. They pick up a first down here. Aberdeen, they can just about run it out. There you see the
if they pick up a first down here, you're right. They'll pretty much run it out.
But on the other hand, if Havre de Grace can stop them, seeing how quickly they have scored before, they've got 2 minutes to go. What, 70 yards?
Yeah, I mean it's.
Well, here we go. The play of the game. We've said that before. This is the play of the game. Rogers. In motion. Back to throw, looking. Complete, but I don't.
Intercepted.
Intercepted. The ball bounces around. Havre de Grace will have the football. Taken away by Bryson Worthy. Bryson Worthy, the two-way tackle, getting the interception, and so it will be Havre de Grace football.
1:58 left.
Kind of wouldn't have mattered because it was fourth down.
But it cost them 5 yards.
Yep, there you'll see the interception bouncing around into the hands of the big lineman, Bryson Worthy. So here we go now with 1:58, Havre de Grace ball. They are 67 yards away.
2. 1, 2. Okay, he's coming. All right.
In motion. Ringgold with a throw. High. Complete. Diving. First down.
Yeah, it's.
Yeah. Devontae, nope. I'm sorry, I didn't switch it over for us. Kevin Miller.
Yeah.
Number 4.
Yep.
First down, the ball at the 45.
They're isolating their wide receivers one-on-one, and then that's who they're looking for.
Rolling.
Right. Oh, he's going deep. Look
Here's
at this.
the pass. Ball at the 50, inbounds. That's Miles Miller. Pickup of about 7 on first down.
Clock's still running. It's
at 1:30 and now 1:29.
Can't give him a first down. It's not a first down. Second down. Okay.
Second down and about 4. Back to throw. Ringgold being rushed. Gets away. Close to the first down. He's out of bounds. and he might have the first down.
No, I think he's a little bit short.
1:12, the clock stops. Very, very close. Let's see where they
But
put
even
the
if
ball
it is a
down.
first down, the clock's already stopped, so it doesn't matter about the stopping the clock for the.
Yeah,
They'd be better off actually if he didn't get the first down and could get it on the next play and move down the field a little. Well, no, it's a first down.
they do say first down.
Yeah.
1 minute, 12 seconds. Remember last year, Aberdeen had a 2018 lead, and they lost it in the last minute when Havre Grace won the game 24-20.
Yeah.
Does that ghost of that memory have an impact on the Aberdeen team?
Now, 1 minute and 12 seconds will have a lot of impact on it.
1 minute, 12 seconds left in this contest. Of course, there is the possibility of overtime, Bob.
Well, there's always that possibility.
Timeout by Aberdeen. Just in case you're wondering if we do end up in a tie, they put the ball on the 10-yard line and they have 4 downs to score. Each team has the opportunity to score, which, Bob, I think is by far the most fair way to decide a tie game.
Oh, absolutely.
The idea of having one team score without the other team ever having a chance to possess the ball, which is what they do in the pro leagues.
Well, that's changed now.
Yeah. Well, it used to be you kick a field goal and you win the game. Now you have to score a touchdown and the other team gets the ball back, I believe.
Yes, and both teams get an opportunity now.
Yeah.
No matter what happens.
It was, to me, the flip of a coin often decided who won the game.
Of course, it did.
Now,
Many times.
again, you'll get the ball on the 10, and if you score or don't score, the other team gets the ball and can equalize your score or, go for the extra point and win the game. But that's a long way away. 1 minute and 12, Havre Grace has to score, and then if they kick the extra point, they win it anyhow.
I mean, he's got a free throw right to the end on the left side.
And there it is. Almost a lateral. Trying to get out of bounds. It is a first down. That's Miles Miller. It is a first down, and the clock does stop.
Yeah. I mean, first of all, the defensive back was way off of the wide receiver over there.
Playing a prevent defense. Well, you say the only thing a prevent defense does is it prevents you from making a stop.
Yeah. Well, the guy catches it, and he can run right. He can catch it for 7 yards and run right out of bounds, and it only take 3 or 4 seconds.
The ball at the 35, first down and 10.
Now they brought him back up again. 1, 2, 3.
Looking to throw. Has a man complete. Still on his feet and now taken down. That is Josiah Lawrence with the tackle. Clock running inside a minute. Second down and 5. Down inside 40. Nope. Flag goes down. Let's see what that's all about.
It's against Havre Grace, I believe. I don't believe they were set.
Lots of time running down on that clock. Offside against Aberdeen.
Oh, they called that on Aberdeen.
Yeah. Still won't be a first down, but it will move them 5 yards closer. Second down, about a half yard to go for the first down.
Now they got twins out there. Aberdeen better send. Now they got trips out there. Aberdeen better send 2 other defenders out that way.
Back to throw, back to throw. Plenty of time, rolling right. Now running, and out of bounds he goes. I'm not sure if he got the first down, Bob. They're saying first down. I don't think the officials have marked it that way yet.
I don't think that'll bother Aberdeen because he ran out of bounds anyway, so the clock was stopped when they moved the change this time.
Ball at the 22-yard line. 30 seconds on the clock left in the game. Julian Ringgold trying to bring his team back.
I'll tell you what, I would be giving this defensive back over here a little bit of help on this one-on-one.
Looking left, now throwing right. It's going to be into the end zone, knocked down Great defensive play. Is that Peyton Furr, number 10? I believe it is.
It is,
made
yes.
that block.
Boy, he was isolated one-on-one. He made an excellent play.
6 seconds off the clock. Second down, 10 yards to go. Clock stopped on the incompletion. 6-point lead for Aberdeen. The fans, you can almost feel the booth here shaking as the fans are very excited up on their
better
feet.
get somebody out. There they go.
Second down. Timeout. Aberdeen calls another timeout.
Yeah, well, Havre Grace has them spread wide, and they've got the Havre Grace has their number 4, Kevin Miller. He's isolated pretty much over here like he was the last play. And then they've got trips on the left-hand side, and Aberdeen's had to bring another kid out to make sure they have 3 to cover that. But then what really comes down to, they're all one-on-one once they go. So they don't have a 4th helper over there, nor do they have a helper on Kevin Miller. So
Here you see Coach Eberhardt urging his offensive team on. Caleb Myers on the other side just as vehemently urging his defense on. So here we go. Second down, 10 yards to go. More importantly, 22 yards away from pay dirt with 24 seconds left in the game. Julian Ringgold, the senior quarterback, outstanding game. In motion, Miller looking, rolling, throwing, complete, out of bounds. That's to Miller. That's to Kevin Miller.
Yeah. They got to give, I mean, no disrespect to the cornerback they have, who's a pretty good player, but they got to double him, so, because he can just run that out. And then if you cheat on the out, he can turn upfield on you and be wide open.
7 yards on the play. Ball at the 15 now. Second down and 3. Ringgold. Durbin behind him. 2 wide to the left. Fake to the left, throw to the right. It's going to be on a flag is thrown. They're going to call a penalty on the defensive back as Miller was knocked down, and that will put the ball. It is a 10-yard penalty, so it won't be at the point of the foul with 15 seconds left. My partner is saying maybe that was a little bit close on the call. Here you'll see.
No, you won't. Can't see it.
A little bit late. Let's see the flag now. The ball is going to be placed down.
See, he hasn't touched him yet.
Nice replay, guys. You can see the Aberdeen defensive player saying, hey, I made a play on the ball. The official saw it the other way, and so the ball will be at the 8-yard line. Bob, we have 15 seconds left in this contest. The ball at the 8. It is a first down and goal. Ringgold bringing his team up. Ringgold throwing, has a man, complete, corner of the end zone, touchdown. That is Miller, Miles Miller. The passing from 8 yards out, touchdown. We have a tie game. It almost looks like he slips here and gets the ball, kind of a wobbly pass, but all by himself is Miles Miller in the corner of the end zone.
Miles Miller ran a great route. He really did.
There you see the fans. We have a tie game at 20-20, and that brings out Zakari for the extra point that could win it for Havre Grace. Miller will put it down. Miles Miller, the young man who just caught the touchdown pass, will spot the ball. Wow. Bobby, I mean, 9 seconds, what are you going to do? You're at 20-20, the kick for the point to win the game.
You better block the kick or hope he misses it. I mean,
it's almost worth jumping offside just to time it so that you could get there. You know what I mean? Taking a chance on the on the offside penalty.
Yeah, but then you go up a yard and a half, and then with the way they run their offense, they can, they can push the ball into the end zone and get 2 and end the game. I think the kicker's a little shakier than than being close to the end zone.
Zakari is an excellent kicker we've seen, although he has missed 1 tonight.
I mean, kicking involves a lot of things. Kicker's just one of them. Right?
That's right.
You got to snap it right. You got to catch it. You got to put it down right. And then the kicker can do their job. So it's not always the kicker.
Okay, so here we go. Aberdeen rushing a player on.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Well, it's only 11, so.
Here we go, waiting for the snap. Good snap, good placement. Kick is blocked! The kick is blocked, and we are tied. Ho-ho! OT. Although we have 9 seconds left, let's not get ahead of ourselves. See what the officials are going to say here. Are they going to call some kind of a penalty?
Well, they want to see if he's offside.
Offside against Aberdeen. So Havre Grace will get 1 more chance. Maybe that's how they blocked it, Bob. Maybe they were offside.
He was the one who blocked it.
So now, as you said, you were a yard and a half closer. You could try for the 2-point conversion here. But again, they're going to go for the kick again. So here we go. Waiting for the snap, good placement. Kick is up, and the kick is no good. The kick is off to the right. And we are tied at 20-20. You'll see how this kick just sails wide right.
So I said with a kick, you never know.
Just wide right, maybe a couple 3 yards wide right. And there you see the celebration. You'll see the kick. Just sails a bit wide right.
Yeah.
Havre Grace thought they had it made. You saw them celebrating. The ball was plenty high and plenty long, but just a bit right. So we are tied. The kickoff still to be done, and Aberdeen could end it right here if they could run it back for the touchdown, obviously.
Yes, it'll be interesting what kind of kick they make this, whether it's a squib kick or I think they're just going to kick it 15 yards, just dribble along the ground and make sure they tackle them. And
there you see the Havre Grace cheerleaders, some with their senior banners on senior night at Havre Grace and homecoming as well. And the fans have been treated to a whale of a game. Hey, Bob, how much did you pay to get in here tonight?
I'm a senior. I get in for...
I didn't pay anything. I snuck in before, so it'd been worth paying something for, but hey, I'll take it.
They didn't even question me. I was started to say, I'm doing the broadcasting. Or they said, oh, you just go right in, mister.
Go right in. Yeah, you deserve it. Here's the squib kick.
No, that was insulting, telling me I'm that old.
Chance to, oh, nope, they do tackle him, and the game is, let's see, 6 seconds still showing on the clock.
They just told me I was old, Don, is really what they did.
I know, yeah. Used to be they carded me as a senior, now they just say, go ahead. It's embarrassing. Well, let's see now. Aberdeen has 6 seconds and we've seen them go 90 yards on one play. Devontae Williams catching the pass from Rogers.
I kind of think here that I might just take a knee and end this. Yeah, I mean, you can try to throw it deep, but if they intercept it and bring it back and run it back, then what?
Yep, that's what they're going to do. Just run the ball and let the clock run out, and it goes down to 000s, and so we are at the end of regulation. But don't go away because we have extra time for you.
This is, you know, the whole night I was hoping for OT because this game has been so good.
Yep. It's almost the kind of game where you don't want either team to lose. You almost want it to be a tie, you know?
That's like kissing your sister.
Yeah, and I like my sister a lot. But yeah, you're right. I'd rather win the game. So what happens here again is each team gets the ball on the 10-yard line and they get the score, field goal. Here we are. Hey, hi everyone. Hi Bob, wave to the crowd. Here we are. That's Bob's hand you see waving there. Yep. So what happens again, you're at the 10-yard line, you get 4 plays, up to 4 plays to score. You could kick a field goal if you wanted on the first down, go up by 3-0. Or you could score a touchdown and get a 1-point conversion.
So who's going to kick the field goal? Since we haven't done so well, and either team hasn't done so well with the extra points.
But if I kick a field goal, then the other team comes down. If they score a touchdown, they win.
Yeah.
Now, the big thing, Bob, is if you score a touchdown, do you kick the extra point, or do you go for a 2-point conversion? You kick the extra point, you're up by 7, the other team scores, goes for 2, they win.
Well, first of all, you're under the assumption that you kicked the extra point and it was good.
Yep. Here you see Caleb Myers coming out to midfield with his captain, quarterback Colin Rogers. And there you see Brian Eberhardt coming out with his captain, the quarterback Julian Ringgold. I mean, those two quarterbacks have just played a sensational game. Both coaches have done an excellent job. The officials have had a lot of laundry on the field in the second half.
Yeah.
There you see the officials explaining.
I'm not going to get on the officials tonight because I think they've worked hard, and for the most part, I think they've done a very good job.
Yeah, that call on the fumble recovery, we think they got it right.
Yeah,
and Aberdeen got the ball.
I do.
And you know that was a very, very tough without the benefit of replay as we had.
Yes.
What a game! It has just been everything that you hope when Aberdeen, Havre de Grace get together on senior night, on homecoming.
And understand they don't get the benefit of a replay to make the call like the pro officials do. So the call they make stands.
Well, here we go now.
That's a lot of pressure.
The coin flip is just to see who gets the ball first.
Or which end of the field you want.
Yeah, but it is from the 10-yard line, no kickoff.
Yeah, I mean, if the wind's blowing 50 miles an hour in one direction, you might want the wind.
The other, it's important because, again, you'd rather be the second one with the ball because you can find out what the first team does. Do they score a touchdown and kick an extra point? You know you have to do at least that.
Or if you're the first team, you go score a touchdown and put the pressure on them to have to do it.
Bob, was back in the 70s, a game here in the old stadium at Havre de Grace. I think it went something like, I'm going to make it up, 10 overtimes where one team scored.
Really?
Oh, yeah, one team scored. Jim Harris was coaching for Havre de Grace at the time, maybe 1978.
And who was coaching at Aberdeen back then?
It wasn't Aberdeen. It was a team from out of county, and it went like a number of overtimes. Yeah, because one team would score and kick the extra point, the other team would score and kick, and it just went back and forth. I remember the headline in the Aegis. It showed all the extra periods. It seems like 10 maybe.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, here we go.
That would have taken 10 years off a coach's life.
And again, we'll go to the 10-yard line. They're going to line up on the end zone to our left. Not sure who won the toss and who gets the ball.
Well, we'll see in a bit here.
And there you see Brian Eberhardt. Going to get a drink of water. Brian's a young man, but I think he's aged about 10 years tonight, Bob. What do you think?
Yeah. I think Aberdeen has the football.
It looked like Havre de Grace won the toss, and so they've elected to let Aberdeen get the ball first. Remember, it's 4 downs. You don't get a first down. It's...
Well, you get it on the 10 and you have to take it in the end zone. It's first and goal.
First and goal. You can take as many as 4 plays to score. The equipment situation there, number 5, Durbin.
Okay, here we go. First big play of the OT.
Rogers sheds one tackle. Boy, he is strong. Gets down to
Yeah.
about the 5.
You know, on first down like that, I might have faked that and run to the right and tried to throw a pass into the end zone. Just to,
Well, we saw on that pass that he threw to his tight end earlier.
well, you know, I mean, most times they think you're going to do something to move in from the 10-yard line. If you go after the end zone on the first play, you might be able to get it.
Well, about at the 7, maybe the 6. Handoff, Durbin
I don't know where you're running there.
into a pile of maroon jerseys is what you're doing.
We have third down and 7.
Third down, the ball just about at the 7. Obviously, it is 4-down territory. That goes without saying.
I mean, if you have faith in your passing game, this is the place you throw the football.
Here we go. Third down, 7 yards to pay dirt. Running. Rogers hit. Still struggling. Down to about the 7 again. And that'll bring up 4th down. Now you can kick a field goal here if you so desire. Fourth down and still the ball just about at the 7. Devontae Williams, the big receiver here on the near side. Rogers looking, throwing into the end zone. It's going to be intercepted. It doesn't matter, either intercepted and or incomplete. And so Aberdeen not able to score. It's not over because now Havre Grace gets a chance to score, and Aberdeen, if they could stop them, we would go to a second overtime. Bob, I'm going to put you in the shoes of Brian Eberhardt. You do have a good kicker, although he's missed a couple of extra points.
I'll tell you what, I would run what the offense that he ran before the end of the game. I would put trip receivers on the left. I would isolate the Miles kid on the right, and I would have Julian Ringgold throw the ball to one of those in the end zone.
Miles Miller or Kevin Miller, number 3 or number 4.
Yep. Well, now he's got them split, 2 on each side, so they're isolated. He can go with a little pick play and
handoff up the middle into the end zone.
Touchdown.
Let's see. Let them call it. Touchdown! Havre Grace. The Warriors have won the game by a final score of 26-20. First play, they get the ball in overtime. They go in and score. Touchdown run by Kamari Magritte. And Havre Grace has won it.
It's an excellent call on the coach's part. He split everybody out, and then he ran it back right up the middle with everybody split. It was a great call. Had great blocking up front, and he ran it into the end zone.
Well, the Warriors have won the game in a hard-fought overtime battle, winning it by a final score of 26-20, and the hugs are going all around. You feel sorry for Aberdeen. In the second year in a row, they were leading, and they lost it at the end. Here, it goes into overtime, and the homestanding Havre Grace Warriors win their 4th game of the year. They go to 4-2. Aberdeen now goes to 3-3.
Now we got the cousins shaking hands with the cousins, and nobody says anything at this time.
And what Bob is saying is because Aberdeen and Havre Grace are so close together, the families, some attend Aberdeen, some attend Havre Grace. It's not just a once-in-a-year thing. They live together almost
an everyday
side by side. Wow, what a game. The Havre Grace Warriors winning it by a final score of 26-20 in overtime over the Aberdeen Eagles. Bob McCone, you get a chance to wrap it up.
I tell you what, it was an exciting football game. There were no losers in this football game. Unfortunately, Aberdeen had to take the loss, but it was just a really great game by two teams who really played their hearts out, and very, very enjoyable game to watch. And congratulations to Havre Grace and, you know, Aberdeen kids. I tell you, you know, get your head up because you guys did a great job.
And Bob, the great thing, it's on tape. This will live forever. They can watch this game when they're old like me. You know, they'll probably have some sort of different thing to make it work. But our final score here tonight, 26-20. So happy that you came along for the ride. Bob McCone, Don Morrison. Been a great fun for us here. I hope you've enjoyed it as well.
And what do we have next week, Don?
Gosh, I don't know. Right now, I'm just thinking, oh, we have Edgewood next week.
C. Milton?
Yeah, Edgewood and C. Milton, yes. So make sure you watch again all season long.
Is that a
HarfordTV.
Thursday night or a?
It is a Thursday night. Yep.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for tuning in. Again, Don Morrison, Bob McCone. Good night, everyone, from Havre Grace High School.